Kansas basketball is synonymous with college basketball.
The founder of basketball was the first head coach at Kansas, Dr. James Naismith.
It is a special program that goes all the way back and is really the bread and butter of college basketball.
Think of the players that played there. I mean, Will Chamberlain, Danny Manning,
Jock Bond, Paul Pierce, Scott Pollard, Rafe LaFrentz.
I mean, the list goes on and on.
Rock chalk Jayhawk. Chamberlain is a freight train. My oh my, Danny Manning. College basketball at its best.
Danny Manning is Kansas basketball because he exudes what Kansas basketball is about.
You think about the ultimate teammate. He did everything he could do to raise that team's level up.
he was agile and athletic and could play inside and out.
Kansas goes into the NCAA tournament in 1988 as a 6th seed. They're not picked by anybody to get to the Final Four, let alone win the national championship. And Danny Manning, for 6 straight games, puts Kansas on his back.
They had 11 losses that season, which is the most any champion has ever had. Manning just willed that team to victory, and when you can see a player do that, it's something you don't forget.
You knew it was something special. Just being on the court with Danny Manning, you learn so much about unselfishness.
Manning left as the all-time leading scorer and rebounder at Kansas. He's the last guy in college basketball to single-handedly win a national title.
Every year, we see a team with one dominant player produce regularly, and one thing that everybody seems to say is, can this player pull a Danny Manning? Because of Danny's performance in 1988, he set the stage for comparisons from now until the NCAA tournament, goes on and on.
His leadership, coming back for his senior year, winning a national championship, and how he did it, how he carried himself, I think that's why he's synonymous with their program.
Kansas is playing Memphis in the title game against John Calipari. In San Antonio, it was the 20th anniversary of Danny and the Miracles.
2008, Kansas was a 1 seed, but when you look at that championship game, they were down and out.
They're down 9 with about 2.5 to go. They're down 6 with about $1.20 to go. Memphis didn't get a field goal in the final 2.5 minutes of the game, and they couldn't hit free throws.
Derrick Rose clanks him off the rim. Chris Douglas-Roberts clanks him off the iron.
I was in the press box, and I thought when the free throw went up for Memphis that, Kansas would have a hard time getting a clean look even if they rushed the ball up the floor.
So it was Sharon Collins on the right-hand side, and he kicked it over to Mario Chalmers.
Down 3 with 10 to go. Collins, he bobbles it. Chalmers, the 3 to tie. Got it. And Kansas sends the game to overtime.
You see the dribble handoff coming, and you think it's switch, switch, switch.
And he kind of cocked his shoulders back a little bit, and Chalmers let the ball fly.
And buries it. I mean, absolutely buries it. For them to go to overtime. They go on to win the national championship. It was spectacular, and it was perfect symmetry of a shot that we love with March Madness.
Taylor takes it home. Wizzy with a monster block. McLemore buries the jumper. It's raining threes in Lawrence.
What makes Kansas so great is Fog Allen Fieldhouse, one of the greatest home court advantages in all of college basketball.
If you're watching a game, with the exception of the uniforms and the shoes, you might not know what era it is.
To put on the Kansas uniform was one of the greatest feelings ever.
Rock, chalk, Jayhawk, KU.
When you think about the perfect combination of a fan base, a building, a history, and a team, that's exactly what Kansas basketball is all about.
Compared to a program like Duke or Kentucky, Kansas doesn't have as many wins and certainly not as many titles. But the titles that they do have just been so exciting.
Regardless of who's wearing the Kansas jersey, we know that team is going to be in the mix for a Big 12 championship.
They don't always have the best player in the country, but what they have is a great coaching staff. They have players that play together as a team. And when you have that on the court, there's a possibility of winning the national championship every single year.